Hey guys, it's Nux, and I just wanted to give you a quick 12.1 preseason week what to do. So this is like August 11th. This is tomorrow for NA, and then for EU that's the 12th of August. So I kind of wanted to do this little checklist. I also made this video like once before, and it wasn't very like new player friendly. So I went back, added a bunch of like resources. I'll be able to put those in like the video description. That way you guys can have them. That way you won't be as confused. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to go into the new zone and complete the campaign there, right? And how you start that is here in Silvermoon at the Light Well. There's a quest right here called Hagar's Invitation, right? And why it's important is because it leads you into completing the storyline for the Legacy of the Amani, right? And that's part of the Curse of Ultech. And if you're not at Hagar's Invitation, then you'll be at the preparations are complete. And you just press the adventure guide and suggested content and you accept it. But all of this will be, once again, in the description of the video. But that's kind of like what you want to do. That will get you into the new zone, get you started and taken care of there. Next thing you want to do is you want to do the Mythic Zero World Tour. This drops 292 gear. So if you're Mythic Raider, Hall of Fame Raider, CE Raider, probably not that relevant for you. You probably can just chill out and do the intro campaign and kind of like log out. However, for anybody who's re-rolling or alts, or you kind of want to get a little bit of experience in the new dungeons, definitely recommend that. And the new dungeons this tier are... So we have Altar of Fangs, Murder Row, Den of Nalarak, the Blinding Veil, Void Scar Arena, and then we have the Legacy dungeons, which are King's Rest, Temple Sorelis, and Ruby of Life pulls. So those are the dungeon pulls that are going to be out. That's a dungeon pull that will be out. These are the dungeons that will be available for us to complete. And then that's also Mythic Zeros on a weekly reset. So it's not a daily reset, it's weekly. You can only do this once per week per character. And then also another tab that I kind of forgot was once you kind of do that quest line and start that quest line in the previous comment, it'll kind of take you through the vaults of Altanek, right, which ends up being the raid, but this kind of goes through the whole zone, how to get to the zone, all the waypoints, all this kind of stuff, right? Very important stuff. All this additional information, like shout out to Wowhead. I got all Wowhead links for you guys. That way it's super in one place, one resource kind of thing. Very easy to navigate. Okay, so the next thing that we want to kind of look at doing this week is, like, say you need more gear and you have a reroll, you want to go do your midnight praise or hard praise, I think it is. Maybe the nightmare ones aren't open yet, but if they are or not, whatever the hardest difficulty of praise are, they're going to drop 279 gear, which is vet track, I believe, which is the same equivalent to LFR. And then speaking of LFR, the next thing you're going to do is the new lair raid boss. This is the WoW's new rendition of world bosses, except for this one's instance based. And it looks like it can only be completed on like story mode, and it will award 279 item level, which is LFR gear. It's like vet track. However, I would use this also as an introduction to the new raid. That way, when you go in on normal, heroic, or mythic difficulty, you kind of already know exactly what's happening, or you have like a better understanding of what's expected of you to do inside of that dungeon. And then outside of that, you want to, next thing, we want to complete our weekly spark. This is the thing that helps you craft your gear, right? This helps you get early power gains, whether you're crafting a two-hander the second week or you're crafting a one-hander the first week. However, this is pretty much mandatory for anybody who's trying to push early content quickly as possible. So CE, Hall of Fame, etc. Like something you definitely need to be doing, something that should be on your radar. For most of those players, though, they already know that. So if you're trying to catch up to those players, these are some of the things you need to be doing. And then you want to make sure you go and kill the new Delve boss, which is Astarek. And he or she will award, I don't even know what the boss looks like, will award 30 uncapped hero crest. And it'll also give you... You should be doing this on the single question mark, which will give you practice for the double question mark. Like last season, or this current season, because today's the day before the patch, I was able to get the Fabled, like that's the new Hall of Fame for the Del Boss. Like that was cool, that was eventful, that was hard, it was challenging for the first week, right? So something you can do. So this week you can practice that on single question mark, and then you can go into double question mark the following week, which I think is the August 18th, whatever the week past August 11th is. That Tuesday reset for NA and Wednesday reset for EU, and that will drop Mythic Uncrest cap uncapped Mythic crest. So not only are you getting heroic uncapped crest from the single question mark, you're going to get Mythic uncapped crest for the double question mark, as well as a mount, a title, and an achievement. And the title is only if you complete it in a certain amount of time compared to the rest of the region. So something to strive for, something to do. But nonetheless, if you don't get the title, at least you get the crest, which will be uncapped and give you additional power boost going into the season. Right, put you ahead of just all the other player base. And then the next thing you want to do is you want to make sure you complete your vault. You want to at least end the vault with 3 mythic slots, right? And let's go back one. I actually have the Delve boss here. So this is what it looks like. Still don't know what gender neutral, I guess it is. And then kind of where to locate it inside of the new zone, where the Delve is at, etc. And then also Wowhead kind of gives a guide on it, right? So it's definitely something to be looking at, and now it's something that I need to look at right prior to doing this. And there's comments like this, like Tank Privilege. There's definitely going to be easier classes and specs to complete this on. So do a little bit of research before you go in, so you're not banging your head too much, and then go in there and knock it out, right? And get some good practice. I just want to make sure I didn't forget anything else. And then here also is the world boss that I kind of talked about. Here's the location of the world boss. Here's what the zone looks like to go inside of it, and here's how I said it's instanced. All that kind of stuff, right? And then once again, 279, so it is veteran track 1 of 6, so it'll be world difficulty. I said story mode, but yeah, it's going to be world difficulty, and then here's the normal, heroic, and mythic, and then eye levels for the appropriate things, and then here's all the gear and etc., like the decor and everything else. So all this will be linked in the description. I just want to make sure I went through that. Okay, let's go back to the mythic vault. So at the end of week 1, the preseason, August 11th week, the preseason week, you want to make sure that you at least, at minimum, have 3 vault slots, right? You want to have at least 3 of these golded out, just like this, in order to get your bonus roll. So bonus rolls will be available the following week for you to use, right? So week 1 will open up the vault. You complete at least 3 of these little blocks, and then you will, or events, whatever you want to call it, activities, mythic dungeons, mythic raid, right? Mythic heroic, whatever, any kind of difficulty ranges within there. You complete 3 of these, and then that will allow you to have the coins. These are this season's, but next season's will have something close to it. Each one of these awards 2. You end up getting 2, 4, 6. The bonus token costs 6, and then you just go to the vendor at the Great Vault. You talk to the little vendor there, and then you just buy 1 bonus roll for 6 of the coins. Sorry, I was waving my kids off so they didn't interrupt the video. The next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you do not bonus roll anything that week, right? I guess a better way of viewing this is you're going to take that bonus roll from preseason week 1 into week 2 of the season, which is actually the official first week, right? That is the August 18th, right? The starting of August 18th, you're going to have you're going to open up your vault. You're going to have 3 slots at minimum. You're going to probably take your bonus roll because all of the gear is locked at champion, so it's lower to champion I think that first week. So there's no point in really taking that gear because Mythic Plus opens that same season. Opens up the Mythic Plus season opens up that same week, so you're able to get heroic gear right off rip just by doing Mythic Plus. So there's no point in taking anything out of the vault. You probably take the bonus roll, and I'll give you an example why. Say for instance you're a tank and a champion shield drops your first week, right? So this is August 18th, you open your vault, there's a champion shield, or let's say there's even a tier piece, right? Maybe there's a reason why you take that tier piece, maybe not, right? If you're completing your 2 set, your 4 piece, maybe that's possible. I'm not even sure if the tier will drop, but in the past it has, right? So that might be one of the cases where you would take the vault if you're able to get an early tier piece, right? However, with like the new changes in the catalyst stuff, probably not something you do. But like I'll give you a better example that's not tier. Tier is kind of one of those niche ones where you probably would take it. It just really depends on how big that tier is for you. And like once again, this is when the class discords and guides kind of come into play. They help you tweak those numbers based off sims and if it's something you should do or should not do. Also, you're also taking early power for slower gains, whereas always taking a bonus roll you'll limit your front end, but you'll maximize your back end and getting geared quicker than the rest of the people. So it's generally something you should do. But okay, let's say there's a shield in there. and it's champion ranked. Say you're a tank, you take that shield, and then your other friend, he's also a tank, and he also has a shield in his vault. He has a shield, some pants, and some gloves. And he's like, oh, I really need a shield. I still have a 259 shield. So you take the shield. He does not take the shield. He's like, oh, okay, wait, I can take that bonus roll and I can go into heroic raid and I can just bonus roll heroic raid and I'll get a mythic one track shield. Now say he goes in to kill the first mythic boss. That's going to be, and say the first mythic boss has a shield on it, just for the sake of this example. He coins that first mythic boss in the new raid, and he gets a maxed out 6 of 6 shield. You see how now he has, at the end of week 2, week 1, week of August 18th, he has a mythic shield, and you have a champion shield. In this scenario, it is much better to take that bonus roll and go try to use it to get something else that is not champion track. So in almost all cases, you're going to want to take the bonus rolls. Refer to your class guides, refer to your class discords. They'll have a little bit more information for your specific class and thing. And there's a bunch of different various videos out there kind of talking about this thing. If you need more information on that, or you're still kind of confused, leave some comments below. Maybe I can make a video in the future, or at least link one to this video that kind of explains the vault and what you should be doing. Basically, Blizzard made a change to where heroic raid will always drop myth 1 gear. They also made a change to mythic raid will always complete the set of mythics. So 6 out of 6, 9 out of 6 for the last 2 bosses, etc. So it's almost mandatory to always take your bonus roll outside of very niche situations. Like, say for instance, another example is, say, one of those dungeons that we just talked about. Sorry, I'm in streamer mode, but so I can't use the window button. Say for instance, Altar of Fangs has, I don't know, your best in slot trinket. And the pool for Altar of Fangs is 7 items. Say your first vault, starting after the week of 18th, because the one from the 11th, it won't matter because it's capped at champion. But say, like, we finish week 18 on the 18th, which is week 2. So let's say we're opening our vault on August 25th, after the first official week, August 18th. We're opening up now on the 25th. We're in Altar of Fangs. We see the trinket pop up. It's whatever. Insert trinket. It's the caster best in slot trinket. Once again, make an example. I don't know if there's a trinket in there for casters. Say for instance that trinket's in there, and say for instance the pool, the loot pool for that dungeon is 8 total items. That means it's going to take you, at minimum, 1 bonus roll, and at maximum 8 bonus rolls if you are super unlucky. But now it's offered in your vault, and say for instance there's no other gear in Altar of Fangs that you need. Like, none of your best gear comes from there. There's nothing you need from Altar of Fangs except for that one trinket. That's probably a scenario where you grab that trinket out of your vault. That way you don't have to go and play the luck game between 1 and 8 rolls. You kind of just get your Altar of Fangs, best in slot trinket, you're not going to replace it. And yes, you forego a bonus roll, however, you got your best in slot trinket. So that's kind of like the nature of the game. Another scenario is, say, like, Murder Row has your best trinket, but Murder Row also has 2 other pieces that are BIS or very close to BIS, like alternate BIS, like same, like just a little bit different stat prio of like haste and mastery, but it's just a little bit less than your BIS. That's probably one of those like alternate pieces that you could probably put on, right? Let's say, for instance, there's 3 pieces in there. Maybe for this dungeon, there's 9 total pieces in that dungeon. Maybe you take your bonus roll. That way you have a higher chance of bonus rolling those 3 items than Altar Fangs. Altar Fangs 1 to 8. Murder Row 3 to 9. Right. There's a difference there between what you should do. But once again, we're in this weird place now where Blizzard has made a lot of changes to where it's kind of getting a little bit weird. But once again, there's videos out there. I try to give you a little bit of examples. Hopefully they made sense and I didn't confuse you too much. Yeah, so let's just make sure there's nothing else. I think that was the end of it. Yep, so once you have your vault, you're opening up on the 18th, and that's kind of it. But I plan on making another video for that week 1, like what to do for week 1, which is August 18th, and I'll probably post that too, and and try to do the same kind of layout as this, where we walk through each of the different tabs, kind of talk you through where these things are, or at least give you the resources for them. Hopefully this helps you. Hopefully I'm not long-winded. I know I definitely could have made this quicker. In the future I'll try to make it a little bit quicker where it's not so redundant or me explaining things over, but I just want to make sure that the lowest common denominator, like brand new players, like those guys are getting the information. So, you know, WoW has a little bit more retention and just bringing more people to the game, because I know for sure this is a very hard game to get into for new players, right? I recommend this game all the time to my friends, and it's very hard learning curve to kind of get into it. So hopefully this helped you. Hopefully there's hype around the preseason, and I appreciate everything. Have a good day, and thank you for watching.